You think the grocery store is a warehouse. It isn't. It is a terminal with a 3-day lifespan. When the trucks stop, the clock starts. Day 1, panic. Day 3, empty shelves. Day 30, starvation. Your pantry of canned beans is just a delay tactic. It buys you time, not survival. If you cannot produce calories when the tins run dry, you are already dead. The difference between a corpse and a survivor isn't a stockpile of ammo. It is the ability to grow fuel. This is not gardening. This is life support. The first lethal trap lies inside the packet itself. Most novice preppers stock up on hardware store packets. They are digging their own graves. Read the label. If it says F1 or hybrid, it is a trap. These are biological dead ends. AgCorps engineer them for commercial yield, not survival. They grow fast the first year, but their offspring are genetic mules. If you save seeds from an F1 crop to plant next season, you get catastrophe, sterile runs, mutants, zero yield. In a famine, that failure is fatal. You require heirloom or open-pollinated genetics. These strains are stable. They have bred true for generations. You plant one, you harvest 1,000, and every single one replicates the parent exactly. This is the difference between a consumer and a producer. An F1 seed is a subscription service to a store that no longer exists. An heirloom seed is a perpetual motion machine of calories. It is the only asset that prints its own currency. The modern food system is designed to make you dependent. The hybrid seed is the leash. Cut it. Secure the lineage now, or watch your food supply go extinct after a single season. But genetics mean nothing if the embryo rots. A seed is a living embryo in suspended animation. It is breathing. If you toss it in a drawer, it suffocates or burns out its energy reserves. You are killing your future harvest before it touches the soil. The triad of death is simple: heat, light, moisture. To build a vault that survives the decade, you must eliminate all three. Cardboard envelopes are garbage. You need Mylar. It creates a hermetic seal that locks out the atmosphere. Inside, you place silica gel desiccants. This is non-negotiable. You must scrub the humidity down to negligible levels to force the embryo into a deep coma. Without this, the moisture in the air triggers rot. Once sealed and dried, the vault goes into the freezer. Cold arrests the metabolic clock. It freezes time. Properly executed, this protocol preserves viability for 10 to 20 years. If you rely on room temperature, you are gambling with a degrading asset. A seed bank is not a collection, it is a fortress. If you do not secure the perimeter against the elements, you will open that bag in 2 years and find nothing but dust and dead potential. When the hunger comes, a viable seed is worth more than gold. Gold cannot feed you. This vault is the only bank account that remains solvent.
Viability is useless if you plant the wrong fuel. Kill the fantasy of the backyard salad bar. Lettuce, cucumbers, and tomatoes are hobbies, not survival. They are crunchy water wrapped in cellulose. You can consume 5 pounds of salad and still starve to death because the caloric return on energy invested is effectively zero. In a collapse scenario, you are a biological engine and you need high-octane fuel. Focus your limited labor on the Caloric Trinity. First, the potato. It is the heavy artillery of survival agriculture. It produces more edible calories per square foot than almost any other crop on Earth. It grows underground, protected from frost, hail, and prying eyes. It is pure, dense carbohydrate energy ready for immediate extraction. Second, flour corn. Not the sweet corn you eat off the cob, but hard grain corn that dries on the stalk. This is your long-term storage battery, capable of being ground into meal months after harvest to keep you alive through the winter. Third, dry pole beans. They contain the dense protein required to prevent muscle catabolism. Plant them together. The corn provides the scaffold, the beans climb the stalk to save space, and the potatoes anchor the caloric baseline. This is not about vitamins. You will die of caloric deficit long before you die of scurvy. If a crop does not provide the fuel to power a 12-hour shift of hard manual labor, rip it out. You are farming for metabolism, not flavor. But the best seed will fail in dead earth. The seed is just the software code. The soil is the hardware. If the motherboard is fried, the program doesn't run. You cannot just plant year after year. The earth gets exhausted. It runs out of fuel just like a gas tank. In a grid-down scenario, there is no garden center to sell you bags of miracle dust. You must become a chemist of decay. The holy trinity of plants is NPK: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. You have to scavenge these from the wreckage. Nitrogen drives green growth. You produce it daily. Urine. It is sterile, high-nitrogen liquid fertilizer. Dilute it 10 parts water to 1 part source, or you will burn the roots. It sounds gross? Starvation is grosser. Use it. Phosphorus and potassium drive root development and fruit stability. The source is your wood stove. Hardwood ash contains high levels of potassium and trace minerals. Sprinkle it sparingly. It is potent. Burn animal bones to white ash for phosphorus. Composting is no longer a hippie pastime. It is a strategic imperative. Every scrap of organic matter, leaves, grass, vegetable peels, even your own waste if managed via humanure protocols, must be returned to the earth. Nothing organic leaves your perimeter. You are building a nutrient bank. If you do not deposit back into the ground, your withdrawal will bounce. When the soil goes bankrupt, the harvest fails and the famine takes you.
A visible garden is a beacon for the desperate. When the grid falls, your neat rows of corn are a billboard. They scream, "Food here." Hungry mobs will strip your field in an hour. You need a ghost crop. Enter the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as the sunchoke. It is the ultimate guerrilla calorie weapon. To the untrained eye, it looks like a wild sunflower or a common roadside weed. It grows 12 feet tall, blocks lines of sight, and requires absolutely zero maintenance. No watering, no weeding, no fertilizer. It thrives on neglect. But underneath the surface, it is packing massive clusters of carbohydrate-dense tubers. It is practically indestructible. It survives drought, flood, and freezing ground. You can plant it along the perimeter of your property or in nearby waste ground, and it will aggressively expand. It is invasive in the best possible way. When the looters raid your main garden, they will walk right past the sunchokes, assuming they are just brush. This is your hidden reserve, your starvation insurance. Dig them up in the dead of winter when the ground is frozen and everything else is dead. They provide massive energy when you are most vulnerable. Let the mob take the obvious bait. You keep the subterranean stockpile. But growing food is temporary. Breeding it is eternal. The final test of a system is reproduction. If you consume your harvest without securing the next generation, you are not farming. You are scavenging in slow motion. You must master the harvest loop. This is the only way to close the circuit. Different crops require different extraction protocols. For dry crops like beans, peas, and corn, the method is patience. Leave the pods on the stalk until they are brown, brittle, and rattling. Do not pick them green for the table. Nature must finish the drying process on the vine. For wet crops like tomatoes and cucumbers, you are fighting a gelatinous inhibitor sac designed to prevent premature germination. You must ferment it off. Squeeze the seeds and pulp into a jar of water. Let it rot for 3 days until a layer of gross mold forms. This biological warfare destroys the inhibitor and kills diseases. Rinse the clean seeds and dry them on a screen. Never paper towels or they weld to the fibers. Once bone dry, they return to the vault. You must discipline yourself to save the elite specimens. The biggest potato, the fastest corn. Do not eat them. If you eat your seed corn during the dark months, you guarantee your starvation in the spring. That hunger is the price of short-sightedness. The system is complete. Let the supply chain snap. Let the shelves go bare. It is irrelevant noise now. You are no longer a consumer begging for scraps from a system that has already abandoned you. You are a producer, a biological sovereign. You possess the genetics, the storage protocol, and the agricultural tactics to generate calories from dirt and sunlight. While others panic over the last can of beans, you will be calibrating the next harvest. You have not just prepared for the fall, you have secured the means to rebuild after it.